This is the Little Moments Count radio podcast, created in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. Each episode, you'll hear interviews with early childhood experts on how to support the important brain development that takes place in the first 1,000 days of life, just through little moments every day. Learn more at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.
FM 89.9 KMOJ, 39 minutes after the hour, 3 o'clock within the Twin Cities, and a little bit of technical difficulties as they call it. But I do have Albertina Mella. Hello, and how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. Now, for the listening audience, can you give us just a little bit about yourself, who you are, what exactly you do?
Okay, so Albertina, as you've introduced me, I'm a mental health advocate and the founder of a mental health NGO called Open Up Foundation. We are dedicated to providing awareness and support on mental health issues for children and young adults in Tanzania. So we do varieties of programs like school projects and community-based interventions to provide awareness and also to offer support for those who are in need of mental health support.
Okay, and also I know that there's a book somewhere in the place that's entitled Jerome and Fear. Can you speak about the book itself and that aspect of where it works out and it helps out when it comes to working with youngsters and youth with their mental health as well?
Okay, sure. So that's my first book that I published it this year. It's about mental health for children. It introduced them to the concept of mental health and provide practical tools, simple tools for them to navigate their emotions. You know, a lot of people in the society think that mental health starts at the age of adulthood, but that's not true. Research shows that a half of all the mental health struggles in the world start at age 0 to 12. So there's a lot of unresolved childhood trauma, which when left undetected and untreated, they can go on to cause severe mental health struggles in adulthood. So I'm trying to fill that gap and provide simple awareness to the children to help them be able to name their feelings. You know, they are experiencing big feelings. Given the work that I've been doing, I've noticed that children experience anxiety, they experience fear, but they lack the language to name what they are experiencing. So what I'm doing is helping them name their feelings, understand that this is fear, this is anxiety, and this is what I can do to help navigate this. Or when it's overwhelming, it's okay to ask for help. Like I can ask my mom, I can talk to my teacher or talk to my friend about what I'm going through and I can get help. So it's more of helping them naming the emotions that they're going through, but also opening the conversation around what they're going through, creating the spirit of seeking help at such a young age.
So now when we look at parents and also besides that, we got caregivers and then we got different programs that help youngsters and youth when it comes to education within itself and also with the mental health. What are some of the tools or the signs or symptoms that one would look at that would be something that's noticeable that says that we need to work on this youngster a little more than the other one that's standing to the left or right side of them?
Okay, so in terms of symptoms is, you know, children are these carefree creatures. They babble, they giggle. If they have something, it's easy like to notice like this child is in need of something. And they can be expressive, so they differ, but children are expressive in nature, like you can notice. But some kids, when they are struggling, they can have this tendency of isolating themselves, like they do not want to connect with other kids, play together, or do some social stuffs together. So you'll find out that in a gathering of kids, let's say in a classroom or in the streets, in the neighborhood, a particular kid who is struggling is mostly likely not to engage in the social gathering along with other kids. And also, they have difficulty in learning because the emotional difficulty that they're going through can overwhelm their mind to a point that it's really hard to concentrate in the class. So empowering teachers who are spending a great deal of time with these kids is very important for them to being able to notice that this kid is having a problem, something is wrong, something is happening in their life. So it's very important for teachers to have these emotional skills to being able to identify instead of yelling at them, they can create a safe space for the kids to open up and share what they're going through. A lot is happening in the community. Some kids are experiencing gender-based violence in their homes, so they don't have places at home to talk about. Some people will be like, hey, if you say this, I'm going to kill you. And so if they lack also safe space at school, it can be really hard for them to get help. That's why we are also focusing on equipping teachers with necessary awareness to help them identify the kids who are struggling.
Yes, because that was one of the things when I was talking about caregivers, and also, when you have the teachers that are there to do it as well. And how important is it for the parents and the teachers to have those communications when it comes to dealing with youngsters and youth? Because a lot of times when you go to some of the different schools or the different programs that they may have already scheduled out and have set up, but then in the process, there's only time that the conversations take place is when there's a problem. How important is it to be in that child's life when there's not a problem, but it's just something that we need to address in order to maintain, to make sure that that youngster has a good year for that year?
Yes, it's very important because as even for adults, like when you remember, like, who do I call when I have a lot on my mind? Like when I want to vent, who do I go to? You are mostly likely to go to a friend who is there for you, who it feels like a safe space, a person who doesn't judge you. You just you can be yourself around them. That's the same thing for kids. They're mostly likely to open to teachers or parents who feels like a safe space, who creates that safety for them to be able to feel like I can talk and my mom won't yell at me, or my teacher won't yell at me when I speak. So it's very important for teachers, for parents, or just members in the community who are dealing with kids in a daily basis to create this sense of safety for kids to be able to go to them, because we don't go to people who feel judgmental, who feel like they are yelling at us and stuff like that. So even on those cases, like this doesn't happen like overnight, that you expect that you will have this negative experience with a kid and all of a sudden you are wondering like, hey, this was happening all along and you didn't tell me. It's because there wasn't this connection. So parents nurturing the relationship with their kids for them to feel safe enough to open up when they are going through different different mental health struggles.
Okay.
And it goes both ways, like not only when they are struggling, but just in natural during the course of life. They'll be able to share like whatever that they're going through in their life. Okay, maybe they're building relationship with their fellow kids. Oh, he has done this to me, she has done this to me, she says this and that. It's very important to create a positive relationship with your kid or your student for them to being able to share whatever that they're going through in their life, the good and the bad. It's very instrumental to create a healthy, emotional kids who are able to learn and strive in all the spheres of their lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, letting you know I'm speaking to Albertina Mella, and we're talking about mental health, and she's an advocate as well as a book writer, as well as an educator as well. And I want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your schedule and enlightening the listening audience. And if by chance, is there a number or a website or anything that they can contact with you in? Because you are in Tanzania.
Yeah, so currently I'm in Ireland. I'm pursuing my master's degree here in Ireland. But the work is continuing back home. So we have a website, openupfoundation.com. You can learn most of our work there. And there's a number in case you want to support the initiative. We have so many programs that we're doing in the community, school programs, but also we provide mental health awareness to different corporate and organizations. And yes, currently we are developing a curriculum that is to be used in secondary schools and primary school in Tanzania. So you can support in anywhere, in anyhow. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you very much and for the opportunity as well. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like a copy of that you've heard, you can always lock in at littlemomentscount.org. And it's FM 89.9 KMOJ, no doubt about it. It is definitely the people's station.
Thanks for listening to the Little Moments Count radio podcast in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. You can find the Little Moments Count radio podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.